Yeah, I thought it's a great test match again. So a couple of really good test matches. Um, yeah, it's good to bounce back. Obviously, we were put under pressure at various times, but I think a couple of individual brilliances, kept us in the game in the first couple of days. Thought Yashasvi's brilliant innings at 209 in that first innings, and then Bumrah's spell really on the first 2 days got us ahead by 140. And then we needed a bit more of a team performance over the next days, 3 and 4, to get us over the line. So, yeah, quite pleased, considering, obviously going behind in the last test match and then losing a few players. So, happy we were able to bounce back, but we recognize it's going to be a fantastic series and it's going to be some tough cricket played over the next 3 games.
You were often spoken about doing a long road with skills to develop into a game transition. But are you sort of disappointed with KS Warner displays every test match to score about 20 runs as he gone ahead and grabbed this opportunity with both hands? And is there any way back for say someone like Ishan Kishan? Because Joel is there in this squad.
Sorry, I didn't get the. Is there any?
Is there any way back for say someone like Ishan Kishan? Joel is there in the squad.
Yeah.
And because he's sort of disappointed with not grabbing the opportunity for.
Disappointed is a strong word. I wouldn't use the word disappointed, to be very honest. Young players need time to develop at times, and they're growing at their own pace. And yeah, of course, you as a coach, you really want players who come in to be able to grab the opportunities they get and be able to perform. His keeping, to be honest, in the test matches has been really good. I think he'll also feel that with his batting, I think he'll agree that he certainly could have done better. There were opportunities. Sometimes he's played on some difficult tracks, to be honest, but sometimes he's had the opportunity to make a little bit better contributions. So I think, certainly the batting is an area that, I've seen he's done really well. He's got here because he's got a lot of hundreds, even at the A level. Came into this series with the form of getting 100 against England Lions before he got here. So he's come in with some form, but somehow it hasn't really worked for him in these couple of games. Look, there's a way back for anyone, and everyone. It's not that we rule out anybody from anything. Again, I just don't want to go on laboring about the Ishan Kishan point. Ishan, I've tried to explain this as best as I can. The point was that, he'd requested a break. We were happy to give him the break. And whenever he was ready, I didn't say he has to play domestic cricket. I said whenever he's ready, he needs to play some cricket and come back. And the choice is his, right? So we're not forcing him to do anything. And, we're in touch with him. It's not that we're not in touch. We know what it is. But he hasn't yet started playing, right? So it's not, at the moment, it's not something that we would consider because, he's maybe not ready. He decides when he wants to be ready. And we've got options, obviously, with Rishabh injured and stuff. So I'm sure the selectors will weigh all the options. But yeah, I think, been happy with the way KS has certainly kept in his career so far. No, I think they've played some fantastic cricket. Both of these test matches, I think England has been terrific. They obviously won the first test match on the back of a fantastic innings. And even in this test match, I thought, they played some really good cricket. Always known that it's going to be a tough series. They've come here with a lot of experienced players. I think it's one of the things we forget, looking at some of their squads and looking at, 3 of them are closing in on 100. One of them's played more than 100 test matches. One's played 184. And a couple of their boys will complete 100 during the course of this test series. So it's a lot of experience, 3, 4 tours, I think. A lot of time in the subcontinent for a lot of their players. So, of course, their spinners are young. There's a lot of inexperience in their spin attack. But certainly in their squad, they've got a lot of experienced players. So we always knew this was going to be a tough challenge, and it has been tough. And to be 1-1 in 1-1 is not ideal. It would be nice to be 2-0. But I think considering the cricket being played on both sides, I think 1-1 is a fair position to be in at the end of 2 games.
Because Dhaka has recently said that considering the pace attack and spin attack that we've got,
Curators make the pitches, man. We don't ask for rank turners. I mean, obviously tracks in India will spin. How much they'll spin, how less they'll spin, how much it's, I'm not an expert, Obviously wickets in India, the course of 4 or 5 days, they do turn. And how much they're going to turn. I sometimes get told they'll turn on the 3rd day, they turn on the 1st day. Sometimes I get told they'll turn on the 2nd day and they don't turn till day 4. So, I'm sometimes as clueless as anybody else. We look at the wicket and we try and do the best we can on what we get. And we'll go to Rajkot, we'll see what we can get and play with whatever we get in front of us.
Thank you. Your thoughts on the way Shubman played in this test match? He said that when I was coming here, maybe under a bit of pressure. So how do you view his innings?
Yes, I think he came into this test match under pressure from externally. I think internally we've had pretty much a lot of confidence in Shubman, and we know his class and his ability, and it's not just sort of thing. We've seen it. We've seen how good a player he's been. Even in this lean run, he's actually the one who's got us 100 at Chittagong. He got 100 in Ahmedabad. So we know that quality. But of course, as a young player from whom a lot is expected, I think obviously he did feel the pressure. So really happy with the way he played that innings. I thought he was, terrific. The way, just the control, the fight. It required him to, soak in a lot of pressure at various times. Build a couple of partnerships, first with Shreyas and then with Akshar Patel, and just get us to a position of strength. I think he will be a little bit disappointed with him in the sense that I'm sure he would have liked to have carried that on, especially with 20-30 minutes to tea. Probably carried that on and made a much bigger century. But having that really pleased with the way he, I think, applied himself. It's never been a question about Shubman's work ethic, his desire to improve, his attitude. I think, he ticks every single box for us as someone who's desperate to succeed in all the 3 formats of the game. He's got the skill, he's got the ability. And he's a young man. We forget he's, 22, 23. He's also learning along the way. He's going to have some blips. He's going to have some, good periods in his career. And, we're just going to have to ride with it at times, knowing that, we've got someone who's trying his absolute best to become a very, very good player in all the 3 formats.
Last week, yeah.
Coach, is this one of the most pleasing wins for you, sensing that there was no Virat, Gill, Rahul, Jadeja, so with the kind of competition, was it the most satisfying in that sense? And also, any news, Virat coming back?
So kind of got used to. It's been 2 years, I think. It's been close to 2 years now, a little more than 2 years that I've been in charge. Never seem to have everyone on the park. So I've actually got used to it. I really don't know what is the, what everyone being fit is. Thought at the World Cup we probably cracked that, and other than, of course, Rishabh, that freak issue with the accident, we thought we've got everyone, and then Hardik got injured. So, yeah, I haven't had that experience of what it's like to have everyone, but no, it's nice. It's nice for the young group to be able to respond like that. Whether it's the most pleasing or not, it's hard to judge and sit here and, I probably can't say it's probably the most pleasing. But certainly really nice considering that we went behind and we were put under pressure at various stages and we responded really well. And so, yeah, so good to get the result and good to go to the next venue at least 1-1. I think it's best to ask the selectors once the team will be selected for the next 3 games. I'm sure they're the best people to answer that. We'll get to that. I'm sure there'll be a selection over the next few days, and we'll connect with him and find out. Hi.
After the last game, you said you needed ways to counter baseball. So how do you think you did regarding that in this game? And
Just a little bit better than the last game. I'm not. Look, I think they're playing very well. And whether you call it baseball or whatever you call it, it's not. I know it's just a term. I'm not sure how happy they are about it, but they are playing really good cricket. Let's be honest. I think they've played well. They have obviously shown that they've shown good skills. I think it's not just about. It's not like it's wild slogging. They're actually showing some very good skills. Some of the shots they're playing require a lot of skill and ability. It's not just, you can't just come there and execute those things and just say, oh, I want to play attackingly and not have the skills to execute it. So I think there's more to it than just attacking cricket, and I've seen at times they know when to pull back, they know when to attack. So they're playing slightly differently, no doubt about it, but they've been very successful, and they're playing it well. So they know how to do that well, they know how to find that balance, and we know we're up against a challenge, and we're looking forward to it.
Especially in the second half of the batting. So, are you comfortable with players not exactly being able to execute properly even if they stick to the game plan, or how do you know the balance between being positive and also taking it?
Yeah, I mean, I think you have to accept at times when, you want people to play a little bit positively, then you have to accept at times that people will make mistakes, right? It can't be, if you want people to play with a little bit of intent and play a little bit positively, then you're going to have to accept a few mistakes, and at times, people may not be able to convert some of the starts. But for me, it's not so much it's just about reading the game and the game situation. I think it's about understanding, are we making the right decisions when to put the pressure, or are we recognizing that this is a moment where we need to soak in the pressure a little bit and maybe be a little bit more conservative rather than attack all out, and then is there a moment now to be able to really attack and put the pressure on? So I think it's just that finding that balance, and look, there's no perfect answer to these things, right? There's no perfect answer of one particular way to play. You have to also play the conditions, that's what I personally also do believe in. I do feel that we did leave runs on the board here again. I think that's maybe a function of the fact that we do have a lot of young batsmen coming through who are, I think still figuring out Test cricket a little bit, but you don't have a lot of time, to figure out Test cricket. I think, you've got to, I think if I'm being honest with them, then yeah, I mean, I will honestly say that I think we left a few runs on the board in both innings. In both innings, I felt we could have got, certainly in the first innings here, 396 I thought was under par. You win a toss, you have one guy who gets a double 100, you should be pushing 475, 450, 475 in these conditions. And then in the second innings, maybe after losing a couple of wickets, 250 was probably about par. But yeah, in the first innings, I think we left 75 again on the board. So yeah, it's a work in progress. We'll hopefully get a little bit better, and we'll keep improving.
Last question.
Just taking a cue from this question, what was the aim during the second innings? Were you looking to set a target, or was the idea was to just bat the day out?
No, I think there was enough time in the game for us to just bat. I mean, I don't think we had decided to set any target, to be honest with you. We just wanted a bat, and then we lost a couple of wickets early, and I don't think there was any stage in the game where we felt we could actually force the play. As soon as we thought we could force the play with that 80-run partnership, we lost a couple of wickets. As soon as we settled in and got another partnership, if we had got to tee at 250 for 4 instead of 240, 230 for 6, we were 210 for 4, I think, and you just start getting comfortable, and then you lose a couple of wickets and you're thinking, oh, so I don't think we were in any position at any stage in this game to ever think about putting pressure back on the opposition. So we had to, I think more than that, I think after we lost the first couple of wickets, we soaked the pressure in really well to get that partnership, but we couldn't just capitalize on it enough. And then the same thing happened when we got another 18-run partnership. If we had made that 120, 130, then I'm sure we would have probably thought about it slightly differently.
Thank you. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.